a winter road trip where we found quite a bit of snow and some interesting items along the way. The snow just got deeper and deeper, and we found some amazing old buildings in a town that's full of heavy iron.
Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. Today we are on the highway headed towards Ely, Nevada. And to get there we have to go through Ely, Nevada, one of the deadliest ghost towns in the West. We've done a few videos on that. We're gonna have to pass through there to get there. This behind me is Cathedral Gorge. And there's a couple of places that we've been around here. Just on the other side of that ridge, there are a tremendous amount of slot canyons that look just like this. And you can walk in there. Amazing location. You know, it's things like this you don't stop along the highway and take a look at because you just don't know they're here. You don't do your research. But look at the absolute beauty of that. I know it's just dirt, but that's just nature's artwork right there. And the camera sometimes can't do it justice. As when you look how this is all carved out from water and moisture. Just hidden here right off the highway.
And it is right off the highway, Highway 93. And we decided instead of going around Pioche to go right through and it'll loop back onto the highway, because we love Pioche. As you can see the video that we have up earlier about this lovely town, and I'm going to link it at the end of this video so you can watch it if you'd like. Pioche is the deadliest town in the West, and that's the haunted overland off on the right. And as you take a left down here, you'll see the old fire station to the right, and that's the Masonic Hall over there. And I'll tell you, these old buildings have been here for quite some time, some old miners' cabins. And here comes the $1 Million Courthouse. You'll find a great story in our older video on that on Pioche, Nevada. So here it is, the entrance to Ely, Nevada. This is on Highway 50, the loneliest highway. And that's the old cemetery off to the left there. It was full of snow. Much of this town was full of snow. But we've been wanting to come here for some time because we wanted to visit the Nevada Northern Railway. So we're just headed down the main street here of Old Ely. We're going to come back and take a closer look at the hotel there on the left. But as we headed down to the right of town, we were told that there are still active brothels here in town. If you go to the right and turn down the alley, you'll see them right past this beautiful mural. So it's just about a block long. You'll see these buildings off to the right, bright red, with writing all over them. Now, one of these buildings, I believe the Stardust, has been here since 1880 and has been operating as such since that time. But they still exist here in Ely. Moving on. All right, so walking up, we found a building. Looks like an old courthouse. We're going to get a little closer to it, take a look. See, this is a huge building. See up top there with the Old Glory flying high. White Pine County Courthouse right there. There it is. And it is looking like it's fairly snowed in. Look at these amazing doors on the inside. Copper doors. Right there. See them inside? A little bit hard to see, but shiny copper doors. Looks like to me. And the old ceiling inside. Look at that old ceiling. But right here, you can see, sorry, a little truck going by. You can see up there how beautiful that is. That's an amazing building. But here's another amazing building, and what we came here to see. The Nevada Northern Railway was built over a century ago to service what would become one of the largest copper mines in North America today. Now, this railway is the best preserved example of the standard gauge short line railroad.
On the back of these, there are some very common sense safety rules to follow. They include things such as please don't walk from a moving train, don't step on the railheads, stay 25 feet away from any equipment while crossing the tracks, just walk 25 feet up and then cross. Please don't climb on anything.
Let me tell you, there's a lot of rules to what you can and can't do here, but there's a reason. This is still an active railway, and there are trains coming in and out of this station regularly, as you can hear those horns blowing all day long.
So we're going to go ahead and take our tour here, walk along the sidewalks and the route that they have here. You can see this is an old fill station for an old steam locomotive where they would fill the water into the trains when they had the steam locomotive. They still operate the steam locomotives here. Today, because of the snow, and there's a tremendous amount of it, you can see they don't start these up, the train rides up until March again, and we can't wait to come back and do the train rides. Right now, we're going to go over here. It says Nevada Northern Freight Express, and you can see basically the old loading dock where passengers and freight would stand right here alongside the tracks and get on these trains. But that over there is the old engine house where they still work on the trains and do all those things. And these are big freight doors you can see right here on these loading docks. I don't know if this was for people as much, maybe the one back there where we were, where the museum was, but this is all freight doors here. Old water tower there. Now, a tremendous amount of copper mining came out of this area, and all of the ore used to come out of the mountains that you see right over there and load onto these freight trains and come right through here. You see some of the old wooden cars over there. Well, you can tell there's quite a bit of snow here. That bench where it says welcome is fairly buried. So we're going to go down and explore in this area. As we were told, we can go in a couple of the locations. I see there's a couple of steam locomotives in the one there that says safety first on it real big. Let's work our way down that direction. You can see here you got to be cautious. This is an active track to get the locomotives and some of the cars through here. But we're going to make our way over to this building here and hop on inside. God, these things are massive. This was the ghost train of Old Ely. This was built in 1910. It said it had boiler pressure of 175 psi and a tractive effort of 23,100 pounds. Empty weight was 68 tons. And that is just a massive locomotive. Okay, it looks like this was a coal car right here. And then this was, it looks like a caboose, but it's not, right? So that's got a big engine in it. And this was the rotary snowplow. Oh my gosh, a snowplow. Let's look at the front of this. Oh my gosh, look at this. A rotary snowplow, if you can see that. That actually turned and ate through the snow. That has got to be at least 10 feet tall. And a giant light was right up on top of it there. So that would turn and eat through the snow and push all the snow off the tracks. Look how massive that is. And it's even, it's all put together and it moved. And it's all rotated in multiple ways to eat through the snow. Look at that. American Locomotive Company. November 1907. A genius came up with that in 1907 to make that work and get rid of the snow. A rotary snowplow on the front of this. I'm going to go to close-up, but just look at the construction of the way that that was riveted. That old locomotive. What did I say, 68 tons? Look how that was designed. That's the old boiler. Imagine the pressure and how dangerous that would be. And back then, this was state-of-the-art. So I'm just going to walk around. I have no idea what this is that I'm looking at. A lot of you may and have, some comments down below and let me know, but this is exciting. You see these in other videos and going down the tracks, but when you're up next to these things and realize how huge they are, just to maintenance this thing and keep all these parts lubricated. Look at the metal on this. And obviously, you know, obvious stuff for me is the steam and what powered it. But these big rails then, of course, power the giant locomotive wheels that are there. Those are huge. And now that I see these, that's what I was looking at on the floor before. I didn't know they were that big. You can see here, like, burnt coal laying down in there. Look at this switch to pull on here. I mean, that's going to take a little effort. There's the coal car there. Of course, the protection from the person who's the engineer. All they've got is that couple of curtains. I'll see as much as I can, and we're not supposed to climb on them. There's the shovels to scoop the coal. These run modern day, but they haven't changed it the way they operate. And I can't wait to come back and get on these and see how they operate. Take them down the tracks and see the old mining communities that they take you by. Franklin reverse gear. There you go. There's the gear that makes it go in reverse. And that is an old potbelly stove. I'm sure that's still operational and keeps them warm in here. Look at this here. This is a wrecking crane. Gosh, look at the size of this. As if the trains aren't big enough, this is a wrecking crane that would probably pick up cars if they fell off the tracks, or the engines if they needed to. Look at the size of the crane. Looks like there's two crane heads on there. Two different hoists, or whatever you call them. The actual metal on these is so huge. You couldn't even put these things together. It's so much effort. Wrecking outlet tool car. As much as we can see in there. Those are big spools. Cable spools that you can see how thick that is. It's about a good solid inch. This is about 2 inches thick and all riveted. It's all big round housing where that sat and rotated. And it says this one was a 1907 Industrial Works of Bay City, Michigan. And this is a steam-powered wrecking crane. 102 tons is the weight, empty, dry weight. The lifting capacity, 100 tons. There's another angle of it from here. Maybe you can see it a little better without the light shining through the windows. I'm not going to elaborate on it much, but there's a very popular TV series, Ghost Adventures, that came here. And they found quite a bit of activity here. And there's a episode that's Ely, Nevada on their channel, and they found quite a few pieces of activity, orbs, and ghostly figures, and they rode the train and found some activity on that as well. So there's a ghost train ride here, and we're going to come back and do that ghost train ride just for fun. But haven't seen anything funny yet, except for snow inside a building. It's right there. All right, so this old building here, let's find out what this is. This is number 12, constructed 1908. A historic use, office for the master mechanic and parts warehouse. Current, the same. So these buildings, as historic as they are back in early 1900s, were used for the same exact thing now because they're still keeping these trains active. Look at the size of this. Here's a regular snow plow, not like the one that we looked at earlier, which was totally impressive. But this is a massive snow plow as well. A little bit of sunlight in the background. There you go, maybe we can see it better now. Giant snow plow for a train. See the old wooden car there, it's just dilapidated and rotting. These are all original wood cars as well. They've just been restored a little bit, but the one behind it shows you what they looked like before they were restored or kept in good condition. Looks like an old ghost train.
All right, so done with the trains and back to town. We're going to go check out the old hotel. But Ely was established in 1878 by J.W. Long and he provided a camp that was called Ely. And Ely really gained its popularity in 1906. When copper was found, things started to happen.
So just kind of on Main Street right here, you see the Nevada Club. Across the way, that is an old hotel that's here in Ely. So Ely became popular in 1906 when they discovered copper here. But before that, it was a main stop. It was because of the stagecoach and the Pony Express line. And then with the finding of that copper in 1906, it became extremely popular and started to grow. That's why you'll see a lot of copper reference to everything, even around the base of the hotel. But this is a fairly large location. You'll see that there's some very artistic decor and things on the side of the building all the way through. But the building itself is quite old, but maybe modernized just a little bit, as a lot of the town has. You can see there's another casino across the way. And also, down on the ground, a little Star Walk of Fame. Looks like Hollywood. So a little bit of salt on here now. Hard to see some of the names. But I'm going to take a look at the names. If I find some that really stand out, I will, I'll share them with you. And there's one right now. Gary Cooper right there. Charlie Pride is that one. You can see it right there. Charlie Pride. So they've got their own little walk of fame here. The stars like they have in Hollywood. There's Rooney again. Gary Cooper. And Jimmy Stewart. One of my favorites.
Now, Ely's had movies being made here since the 1920s, and I believe all these stars on the ground make reference to that. And they have a film festival, music and film festival, and that's coming up March 10th through 12th in 2023. They have this every year, so save the date. And we're going to be coming back here in spring and riding that train up to those old ghost towns in that mining area. And we really enjoyed this adventure with all this snow. And until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and we'll see you in the next one.